Welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Philadelphia at the Nasdaq and Villanova School of Business. The ETF Synapse, we're focusing on research, collaboration, and academia. Joining me for the segment, we have Dan Draper. He's the Managing Director and Global Head of ETFs over at Invesco. Dan, it's great to see you again.
Great to see you.
Thanks for joining us in Philadelphia. Now, Invesco, one of the titans in the ETF space. How valuable is ETF research to the ETF business?
That's crucial. I think you look at the history of ETFs, when they innovation over 20 years ago, it was really, I think, a lot of the education, not only about what an ETF is, but how to use it. So I think this idea of really educating around asset allocation, the importance of asset allocation, and that's I think really helped a lot of investors globally, that idea of diversifying. I think as well being able to think about use cases and different needs, that's led to innovations of building, starting in equities into fixed income and now even alternative asset classes. So we look particularly at the previous PowerShares business we had and now Invesco ETFs. We've literally educated tens of thousands of financial advisors. And again, the level of sophistication just continues to grow in terms of education requirements.
I think the content coming out of the Synapse today is really unique. It's been really good. What are some of the key themes that you've picked up on and some of the themes from your fireside chat?
Yeah, well, I think just more education about the ETF itself, but also the environment or market structure, that it operates in. And there are definitely synergies between the two, but also some important differences. So being able to understand where ETFs have impact or affected by markets. I think the impact of technology on the industry is just enormous. And thinking about potential disruption from a lot of the fintech areas, whether it's ETF distribution, building new content or investment ideas within the ETF. So I think those for me have been really interesting. But what I'd be amazed at here in Philadelphia is I think the level of participation we have, the types of questions and sophistication. I think today versus maybe even just 5 years ago, it's really where reinforcing the fact that ETFs are mainstream now.
Right, and we've seen explosive growth. It's over a $3 trillion industry.
Yeah.
Do you expect that trajectory to remain the same?
I do. I think that obviously you're dependent a little bit on kind of general market conditions, but if you look at the rate of change that's moved forward, for ETFs, particularly we look now newer channels, more use of ETFs by institutional clients, for example, maybe insurance companies. You look at new kind of asset classes that are becoming more popular, areas like in alternatives, commodities, credit, different areas there. So I think as you do bring more interesting products, a lot of focus on factor investing, you then start attracting new client segments. And so I think with that, we definitely see the growth of kind of around 20% per year AUM growth we've had over the past 5 years. Really see no reason why we wouldn't see that over the next 5 as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Pleasure.
at Synapse today. Thank you for joining me throughout the day from Philadelphia. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter.